Hi dollies, I hope you're all having a beautiful day. So today I am finally recording this video that I've been saying for months now that I was going to record, right? So this is my review on the best of the best of Pullip releases for the year 2021. So without further ado, let us get started. So here they are. Can you believe that for the year 2021 we had a total of 20 Pullip releases? Can you believe that? And yes, before you ask, I am showing you all 20 of them. I actually got all of them. I know some of you may think, oh, this girl buys them all. Believe it or not, there are some releases I don't purchase, but in all honesty, like the ones that were released for last year, they were all so good that I couldn't really pass up. I couldn't even pass one up, to be honest. So yeah, here they are. And without complicating things, I'm going to talk to you about each release, a little bit about each release, the month they were released, and of course their name, because I'm sure you are curious. And yes, another yes for you. If you want to see any of these reviews, they are all up on my channel. Yes, all 20 videos are now up on my channel. And I apologize for reviewing this so late or showing you this video so late. You all know some of them came later than they were supposed to, because a lot of the mail in 2021 was so much delay that this video took such a long time to film. And then of course I was reviewing all the other newer releases for this year, and I know those kind of took a little bit more priority than this video. So let's start now by talking about our first release of the year, of course, for last year, and that would be this beautiful young girl. I always call them young girls. We have Pullip Ribbon-chan. She was released for the month of January, but again, like I told you, I didn't receive her in January, but we're gonna do it like that so we don't confuse anything, and let's not make it complicated. Then to the right of her, we have Pullip Mirori, which was a February release. Okay, and then to the right of her we have Pullip Evangeline right here, and she was an April release. We did not have a March release, in case you're wondering, like OMG, no, there is no March release. Then to the right of her we have Pullip Minerva, which is right here, and she was released also in April. She is our owl release. And then to the right of her, I'm sorry I'm shaking, holding the camera. See, this is why it's not good to be always holding the camera. Then to the right of her, we have Pullip Sakura from the Card Captor Sakura anime series, right here with the pink. And she was released for the month of May. And then another one for the month of May, we have Pullip Vesta. So that was another one in May. And then a third one in May. You're like, oh my gosh. We have Pullip Hello Kitty Lollipop version. And then to the right of her, we have Pullip Cinnamon Roll Stardust version, released for the month of June. And then to the right of her, we have Pullip Noah Laura. This one was supposed to be released, or was released, for the month of July. The one in white with the blonde wig. And then to the bottom here, we have Pullip, the Secret Garden of the Rose Witch. She was released for July. Then to the right of her, a rocker, and she's not a rocker, but you know, to me it's more like rockabilly style. We have this beautiful release, Rose Liotta, released for the month of August. Then another one, actually, wait, do we have another one for August? Yes, I kind of mixed them up. I'm sorry. For another one for August, we have Pullip Sela Nocturne version. So this is August. For September, we have Pullip 6% Doki Doki, which is this rainbowy happy girl. Then we have Pullip Akemi Acid Candy right over here for the month of October. Then to the right of her, we have Pullip Near Chan for the month of October as well. And then to the right of her, we have Pullip My Melody Lilac version. Lilac version was released for the month of November. Okay. And then to the right of her, we know I'm always butchering the name. I apologize. We have this beautiful goth doll. I believe you say it Mongolis. I am so sorry. So we have her. And she was also for the month of November. Now to the bottom here, we have our last three. I was going to say finalists. Our last three Pullip releases for the year. We have Pullip Care Bears Cheer Bear version for December. And then another December release is Pullip Sumigurashi for the month of December. And then last but not least, certainly not least, we have Pullip Little Twin Stars Lala right over here for December. So that is it for December. Or actually, what am I saying? For the year. For the year. 20 girls. I always call them young girls because to me they're like my daughters. 20 girls that were released. OMG. Before I talk about my top 5 or 6 releases, I think we'll make it 5. I think I have top 5s. We'll talk about that in a moment. I wanted to talk to you about a different category, which is a category that I get a lot of questions about. So if you're the kind of collector, which I know there's a lot of collectors out there that are looking for the every kind of girl pull-up. So let's talk about that. The everyday kind of girl pull-up. Every kind of, I can't even talk. Everyday type of release. I can't even talk today. I am so sorry. Or talking about the ones that stand out because, you know, you can't buy 20 dolls. Like, not a lot of people could do that. I'm very blessed to say that I make the income that I'm able to for now. And you're like, you know what? I just want 1 or 2 releases. Which ones, Scarlett? You know, which ones would you recommend? So let's talk about the everyday. Let's talk about the ones that really stand out that I'm like, you really can't miss on. And then let's talk about my top favorites. So as your everyday kind of girl, before I do that, I want to mention I am going to talk to you about them, how they look like now. I'm not talking to you about how they look like with a different wig, with a different eye chip. No, because I want to talk about it in a point that when you purchase her, you're going to dress her up and down. So I'm going to talk to you about that and how I recommend for you to have, or which one to have as an everyday kind of girl. So the number one I'm going to mention one here is, the one I'm mentioning first is Ribbon Chan. To me, she's your everyday kind of girl because of her face up. The eye chip color makes her an everyday kind of girl, and her wig color makes her an everyday kind of girl, and the style of her wig kind of makes her, again, your everyday kind of girl. So she's the first one I'm recommending. If you're new to the collecting, or you're new to pull up and you want your everyday kind of girl, you can't go wrong with Ribbon Chan. Just as she comes, you're gonna get a good stock quality. I'm sorry if I'm like out of breath here. I'm like going up and down moving things around in my room while I'm filming. So she's your everyday kind of girl because of her face up, her wig, and you're gonna get good stock. So if you want an everyday kind of girl, you can't go wrong with Ribbon Chan. Another one that's a little bit also everyday kind of girl but with a little bit more glam, I would recommend you Pullip Minerva. Why? Just look at this face up. She has like honey colored eye chips, these beautiful brown chips, her eyebrows. So she is everyday, but she's a little bit more glam like, more out there, I would say, with your everyday kind of girl. So this is another one I recommend as your everyday. You would also really receive a good stock quality outfit. Her face up is beautiful. Her wig may come with a little complications because it's long and there's a little bit of frizz there because of the curls, but overall I think she's your everyday because of her face up. So in my honest opinion, those are your everyday kind of pull-up releases, again, as they come. If you're looking for an everyday goth girl, that might be a little bit different. I would definitely recommend you this one down here. I would recommend you this one here, or Pullip Near Chan as well. Oh, I'm sorry, Rosaliotta. I didn't even say her name. Rosaliotta or Pullip Near Chan. I think they're more like your everyday goth girls. Or even, I can't even say her name, Mongolis, cannot say her name, could be your everyday kind of goth girl if you're looking for a goth girl to dress up or down. So those are your best ones in those two categories with, everyday kind of girls. Now let's talk about the ones that to me stand out, and you might be the collector that might be like, oh, okay, I can only buy like one or two for the year. I can't buy like all 20 of them. So which ones are the ones that I tell you stand out? Again, this has nothing to do with like my top favorites, but the ones that stand out to me that you're like, I don't know if you're gonna be able to get as easily eventually, are the ones that stand out for sure. The Care Bear. Sorry for the bag over there, have mess. The Care Bear one is the one that I'd say really stands out there for the year. Another one that stands out for the year, I would say Rosalie. What am I saying? Secret Garden of the White Witch is another one that stands out. Another one that stands out for the year, I would tell you, is 6% Doki Doki. Minerva is another one that stands out for the year. Vesta is definitely one of the ones that really stands out for the year. Let me see. I would also tell you Noah Laura right here stands out. There's a lot of great releases, I think, in my opinion. Oh, and then of course Lala stands out because she's one of the first releases that we get that's not Cinnamon Roll or My Melody or Hello Kitty in the Sanrio series. So those are the ones that stand out. So you're like, wait, if I want one or two releases this year that stand out, or which ones are the ones that are like bam in your face, I would tell you those. Okay, so now without further ado, let's talk about my top favorite releases. I'm going to talk about like honorable mentions, because again, we're talking about 20 releases, so it's really hard to narrow it down. It's really hard to narrow it down to just 3, and I think you'll be happy to know that. Like for me, choosing was so complicated because OMG. So as a runner-up, one of my runner-ups we have is Pullip. I cannot say it. Monglis, I can't say it. You know what I'm talking about. Why? Everything about her is so unique. Her eye shape, her eye chip color. She's a beautiful goth release. Absolutely love this one. I highly recommend her. So she's one of my honorable mentions. Another honorable mention that I have is Pullip Acid Candy. Her face up is beautiful. Her stock is bright but also rockability. It all works together so nicely. I do love the 2 different tones to her wig. I mean, very beautiful release. So that's another honorable mention. OMG. Now, third place of my favorite release. One of my favorite releases for this year, I would tell you, is Mier-chan here. Because I think as a rocker girl, she is just lovely. Her stock is very versatile, I feel, with like rockability. Everything about her is just great. I love her face up, her eye chips, her wig color. Absolutely love her. So she's the third one I would choose of being one of the best releases of the year of 21, of course. And then number 2, we are choosing Pullip Rose Garden of the White Witch, because why the freak not? Everything about this release is holy. Just holy. So beautiful. So girly. So dreamy. Like, I can't even complain to you. Like, her head accessory, her face up, everything about this release is so dreamy. The style of her wig, just so beautiful. And even the quality of her stock and just the style of the stock is so beautiful. Her shoes, like, as you can tell, I'm madly in love with this release. So definitely my top favorite second release of the year. And now for number 1, which one do you think I'm going to choose? Well, all right, let's just talk about it, right? So my top favorite release, be honest with you, I had to choose 2. I think I did the same thing last year because, again, it was so hard to choose one. So my top 2, top on the list is going to be the Care Bear, Why? She's so nostalgic to me. She brings a lot of like, just a lot of warmth to her. So absolutely love her. Her stock quality is amazing as well. I mean, what's there not to love about this release? I want more Care Bears. That's all I'm saying. And then the plush that she comes with, so adorable. I mean, so happy to have this one. And then the other one I just couldn't choose, like I was telling you, is Pullip Vesta, because OMG, this release is so dramatic, but in a good way. It's so she's so perfect. She's perfect. The stock, I mean, wow, just wow. Look at her. She's a showstopper just by herself. Look at her. Look at this. I mean, this is so extra, so out there, that it works so beautifully together. Like, I can't even tell you how beautiful this one is. You have to see her in person. So Pullip Vesta is my top. Her and Care Bear are like number ones. I couldn't choose one or the other because I just absolutely love them both. But they're, oh, it's just beautiful. Beautiful. So now you're wondering, why didn't I choose the other ones? To be honest with you, there is nothing wrong with these other releases. It's just so many great ones came out for the year that it was just so hard. So freaking hard. I think the only constructive feedback that I have for some of these, I know with Pullip Sela Nocturne version, I know it was the wig. I know you can't even see her face because this keeps covering her face. Was the wig quality, was 6% Doki Doki. I believe it was the skirt that I was telling you. I'm like not a fan of this, but it's nothing to tell you, don't get her. And I think everyone else pretty much was pretty good. Like just the ones with the curly wigs, like Mirori or Evangeline, you know what to do with those. Just be very careful with handling those wigs because they have the curls. And the same thing with Noah Laura, because her hair could get kind of wild too. But to tell you, OMG, do not get this one because of whatever. No, they're also so perfect. I didn't choose Ribbon Chan as my top because, like I said, she's like your everyday kind of girl. I like releases that really stand out. But there's nothing wrong with her. Memori, again, and Evangeline is because there was others that stood out a bit more. Believe it or not, Minerva is one of my top. Even though she didn't make it the top, she's just so perfect. Like, this is another one I would tell you, if you could get her, get her. Like, she's so perfect. But again, other releases kind of stood out a little bit more to me than her. But geez, she's a beautiful release. Beautiful release. And then Sakura, she may not be everyone's cup of tea because again, this is a collaboration with an anime series. Maybe not a lot of folks probably watched it, but I've watched that anime series and I love it. I love Sakura. She's one of my favorite characters. But this was maybe not the uniform I wanted them to choose, but this is what we got. But again, nothing is wrong with her. I already talked about Vesta. Why didn't I talk about Hello Kitty, Lollipop, or Cinnamon Roll, Stardust? Because we have so many of them. There's so many releases that it's kind of like diluting. I don't know. That's just me. But again, there's nothing wrong with them. If this is your cup of tea, go for it. There is nothing wrong with their face-ups, their stock. There's nothing wrong with them. Trust me. Noah Laura, it's another one. She's very beautiful. Like, this release right here is very, very beautiful. Like, my camera may not even do justice. Her face up is gorgeous. She's very pale. Like, everything about this release works. I think the only constructed feedback that I have is the headband here, because it's loose and it's kind of hard to keep it on her wig. But it's not something that I'll tell you do not get her. Like, you could keep it off of her wig if you want. You don't have to put that on. A little braided piece, but very beautiful. Then we have this one here with the clothing brand. I'm always saying her name wrong. Again, she's an honorable mention of mine. There's nothing wrong with her. There's nothing wrong. She's beautiful. But other releases stood out more than her. I am so sorry, My Melody Lilac. OMG. My Melody Lilac, to be honest, there is nothing wrong with her either. To be honest, she is, for real, I think one of my favorites on the My Melody recolored versions. like for real, there's nothing wrong with her. But again, other releases stood out a bit more to me. I really like this one. I really do like this variation. Okay, I already talked about Lala. There's nothing wrong with her. Okay, let's see. Acid Candy, she's an honorable mention, so let's skip her. Stila, like I told you, Nocturne version. I think the reason why she didn't make it is because the wig was very poor. It just kept falling out. Still falling out, as a matter of fact. And the style of her stock, it's not the quality, the style. I wish it would have been identical to the first release, but this kind of missed the mark for me just a tiny bit. But again, there's nothing wrong with her. It's just that I have preferences. I really do like the first version. I wish they would have just recolored her. Like, I really would have been fine with that. I would have had like 2 sisters in my collection. So it's just a matter of preference. But again, nothing is wrong with her. And she has 2 different colored eye chips. You may not see it too well here, but she does. Okay. And then we have 6% Doki Doki. Absolutely nothing is wrong with her either. It's just others stood out a bit more. With like my favorite. But there's nothing wrong with her. I love her lips. Her lips are so fun. Her eyebrows too. She's beautiful. And then we have Rosliota. Again, nothing is wrong with her. Especially if you are a huge fan of the collaboration. I can't even talk, not the collaboration. What am I saying? If you are a big fan of the brand that they collaborated with, I think you will be happy. Which you're like, what collaboration? Naoto. There's been many releases with Pullip, and every releases they've done has been banging. There's nothing I could tell you that, that's disappointing. All the releases have always kicked butt, and this is another one. Let's skip Rose Garden of the Right Witch because you already know. Let's skip Care Bear because you already know. And then last but not least, listen. This one right here, let's talk a little story time with her. This release was the only one that came out. Pullip Sumiko Gurashi. I know I'm saying that wrong. Do not come after me. This is the only release that when she first came out that I was like, nope, I'm not getting it. So out of the 20 releases, this was the one I was like, absolutely not. So believe it or not, what really changed my mind is when real life pictures started showing, and I was like, wait a minute, she's so pretty, like she's so cute. I think I said that like 10,000 times in that review video of her. She is really freaking cute in person. So this is a release that really surprised me, that I actually ended up loving so much more in person than I did when I saw those promo shots. So this is a release there, again, nothing is wrong with her. Just other releases stood out a bit more. She's beautiful. Listen, don't get me wrong, this is one of those releases that I absolutely love in person, and I'm so glad I got her because she was the only one out of these 20 that you see here that I was like, nah. But look, I ended up getting her, and I love her. I really, really do. So in closing, as I was mentioning, there is nothing wrong with any of these releases. You already heard what I had to say. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, concerns, please let me know. You can let us know down below which one is your favorite. Like I said, such a great year of releases. And if you're curious, yes, they're all on my channel. All of the reviews are up on my channel right now, so you could view them at your own pace. 20 hours of reviews. No, I'm kidding. They're not an hour each. So I hope you found this video helpful, and let me know what you think. Which one's your favorite? So I hope you all have a beautiful day. Stay safe, and I will see you all in the next one. Much love and take care. Mwah. Bye.